What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Club and Country. This is episode number 116, and we start today's episode off with a game against Getafe here away from home in La Liga. Of course, in the last episode, you saw us finish the European Championship qualifying group with Spain. We ended up with 10 wins from a possible 10 games, 30 points from a possible 30. Of course, we only played 4 of those games. We took over halfway through the group, but even so, that was really impressive for us. But we are now back to duties with the club, and of course, don't forget, now we have officially qualified for the European Championships come the end of this season. We'll be taking a close look on all the players in this team and assessing which players deserve a call-up to the national squad for the upcoming tournament. That'll be our first national tournament with Spain in this series. So we do take on Getafe for the first game of today's episode here. And the first chance fell in the 10th minute. Paco Candela sprints down the left-hand side. Our youngster takes a strike, but Gaita makes a really good save and turns it behind for a corner. So good chance there, but still 0-0. In the 21st minute, Jesse Rodriguez on the ball for us. Fake shots around his man down the right hand side. He's got the pace and keeps on going, has a man in the centre, instead tries to go himself though, gets tackled, it comes back to him, keeps hold of the ball, doesn't really know where to go, but eventually Scoop turns round the challenge here, gets himself inside, quick little roulette and shoots, but again Gaita makes a really good save and turns behind for a corner. So still 0-0 in this game, but the early chances coming to us. However, in the 35th minute, how about this? Getafe get themselves a man sent off here for a straight red card. Matic dived in on young Hanelise, and the referee had no choice but to go to his pocket and pull out a straight red card for the Getafe player. So he hadn't been booked previously, it was a straight red card, and considering the position of where the ball was on the pitch, you could say it was pretty harsh, but as you can see from this angle, this is a really poor challenge, and I don't really think the referee had much choice. And again, some referees may have just given a booking for that, and that would have been totally fine, but you can see why the referee did give a red card, and I think it was the right decision. But even so, Getafe 0, Racing Santander 0, and the home side down to 10 men in the first half. And in the 45th minute, a great chance for us to take the lead. Again, we come forward, and again, we get a shot away on target. But again, Gaita makes a really good save. So 3 big saves by the Getafe goalkeeper in the first half, kept them level as we went into the break. And 2 minutes after the restart here, Getafe having 10 men, I was fancying our chance of finally breaking the deadlock and scoring eventually. But 3 minutes after the restart, it wasn't us who got the first goal of the game, it was Getafe. They worked the ball down the right-hand side, crossed it in, and a free header in the centre saw Getafe take the lead through Lambrugi, is that how you pronounce that? As he heads the ball past David De Gea and makes it 10 men to Getafe 1, Racing Santander 0. So the worst possible start to the second half. Having a man advantage, you need to capitalise on that. So, anything other than a win would not be acceptable in this game. Now they're down to 10 men. But instead, we go a goal down just 3 minutes after the restart. Not a good start at all. In the 60th minute, though, a great chance for us to equalise here as Grimaldo goes down the left-hand side, sprints past his man and shoots, ends up smacking the post though, and Getafe clear. So Gaita in really good form, Grimaldo now hitting the post. Things just weren't working out for us in this game at all. However, in the 62nd minute here, as we kept the chance alive, Jesse Rodriguez goes down the right-hand side, and if the red card was, fair and the referee called it right, this was the wrong call completely. A terrible decision by the referee here sees us get awarded a spot kick, and I don't even know why Escudero was not complaining more, because this was a brilliant challenge on Rodriguez. Wins the ball first, clearly. Rodriguez just dives over the back of him, and the referee gives a penalty, and that was not a penalty in my opinion. Again, maybe some referees may have given it, maybe it was just a poor angle, maybe Rodriguez actually did get fouled first and I just didn't see it, but I did not think that was a penalty myself. Regardless, when we get those sort of penalties, we chip them down the middle, and we did score from it as well. The goalkeeper dived to his left-hand side, and Rodriguez makes it Getafe 1, Racing Santander 1. And already this season, we've won a couple of debatable penalties. One came in the last game against on Pedro Obiang, as he was tackled in the game against Malaga at El Sardinero. But even so, that one, no way was that a penalty in my opinion. Still, Getafe 1, Racing Santander 1. And in the 69th minute, a great chance for us to take the lead here. Morata goes forward, but his shot is well saved by the goalkeeper, and Getafe eventually clear. So still 1-1 as we kept on looking for our second goal of the game to try and get us in the lead for the first time. But in the 70th minute though, how about this? Paco Candela finds Jesse Rodriguez, and we have been pretty fortunate to start the season off with, but this was really unfortunate. Carvajal goes down the right hand side and gets tripped up from behind. He lands awkwardly, and unfortunately this is going to be a broken ankle for Danny Carvajal as the play stops here. He gets forced off the pitch with this injury, and our right back is going to be out for 3 months. So a 3-month injury, Carvajal breaks his ankle, and that is a huge blow for us, because Carvajal as a right back has been pretty solid. He came in the January transfer window last season. He's done what we've needed him to do as a fullback. He's not exactly being the most flashy of fullbacks, you know, scoring wonder goals and getting tons of assists, but he does what you need to do. And for him to be out for 3 months, that's a massive blow for us there. And sadly for us, that is the first real big injury of the season. So still 1-1. Carvajal forced off with the injury there. In the 74th minute, as we passed the ball around, Carlos Blanco finds Oyoza Perez, and Perez finds Moy Gomez down the right hand side. He tries to take it around his man, but gets tackled, but it comes back to Perez. Perez finds Gomez here, takes it around his man with a lovely little touch here, keeps on going, swings across into the centre, picks out Morata, and Morata wins the header in the air, puts it past Gaita and makes it Getafe 1, Racing Santander 2. So once they went down to 10 men in the first half, we had a really good first half. We were playing really well. Gaita had made a couple of really good saves. I thought we were going to just, dominate in the second half, but to go down and, to be conceding just a few minutes after the restart was really poor for us. We did turn the game on its head. We did get ourselves the win eventually. Getafe 1, Racing Santander 2 was the final score, and again, a very, very debatable penalty was the catalyst in that, because the red card didn't even seem to make much of an effect. We were still playing the same game after they went down to 10 men, and again, I think the red card was the right decision, but the penalty, that was never a penalty. We got very, very lucky there. Still following out, we saw that the board came to us and gave us one of those nice emails you get every now and then when you've been performing pretty well, saying you're doing a good job, and also Carvajal is out for 3 months with the broken ankle. Confirmation there. That's a huge blow, because obviously Carvajal, again, he's not the flashiest of right backs. He doesn't score loads of wonder goals and stuff, but he's been so solid ever since he's come in. I can't recall him ever making a mistake, that's contributed to a goal or anything. So that's a big blow for us. And Obiang will be played out of position in right back. That's where he started the season off last year, and he was really good there. And I'm sure he'll be totally fine and everything. And Torres will come in and play through the middle, which he can play CM if we need him to do so. But even so, I would have preferred to have seen Carvajal stay at right back. Still, we do take on Galatasaray for the second and final game of today's episode here, as we travel to Turkey to take on Galatasaray in the first Champions League group stage game of the season. Now, last season, of course, we reached the quarter-final stage in our debut Champions League season before Bayern Munich knocked us out. So coming into this season with a really tough group with Galatasaray, Ajax and Chelsea, I definitely think this could be a real struggle for us to get out of the group stage. So coming to this game, we have to win the opening game, in my opinion, even if we are away against a strong Galatasaray side. And the first chance did fall to us, but the goalkeeper made a really good save. And in the 20th minute, Schneider went very close to giving Galatasaray the lead, but thankfully for us, the Dutch attacking midfielder's shot goes over the bar and behind for a goal kick. So still 0-0. In the 34th minute, though, Aguza plays Jesse Rodriguez down the left-hand side, and he turns on the afterburners. No one's going to catch him. He drills in a cross, picks out Isco at the far post, and Isco gets his third goal in a Racing Santander shirt, his first in a Champions League game for Racing Santander, and makes it Galatasaray 0, Racing Santander 1. So Rodriguez with a brilliant run down the left-hand side. No one is going to catch the guy. He's had a brilliant start to the season, already got a few goals, a couple of assists as well. There's another one, picks out Isco, and Isco got quite lucky there. He scuffed his shot, but it hit the heels of the Galatasaray defender and trickled over the line. So Galatasaray 0, Racing Santander 1. We had to rely on David De Gea making a really good save in the 38th minute. It was Grimaldo who gave the ball away. They came forward and had a shot, but De Gea made a good stop and turned the ball behind for a corner. So still 1-0. And in the 42nd minute, a great chance to make it 2-0. Rodriguez turns his man, gets himself inside the area and shoots, and Rodriguez gets his first goal of the game and makes it Galatasaray 0, Racing Santander 2. And what a start to the season this guy's had. Already got several goals for us in just a few games and a couple of assists as well. Rodriguez looking really strong to begin this season off with, and I think the goalkeeper should have saved this one, to be honest. I know it did come through a couple of bodies, but even so, it's pretty much straight to his feet, but he couldn't make any contact with the ball. So Galatasaray 0, Racing Santander 2. But in the 45th minute, how about this? In the last game, you saw Matic dismissed for a straight red card for Getafe, which I think was the right decision. But, this one, I have to say, was a diabolical decision. Bruma gets his second yellow card. I couldn't actually find out where the first yellow card was. I couldn't pinpoint it in the highlights, but he gets his second yellow card for this tackle on Isco, which was great. He wins the ball back. He barely even touches Isco, who goes flying. Where's the foul, let alone the booking in that? Absolutely terrible refereeing. Bruma dismissed for his second yellow card. Again, apologies I couldn't find the first yellow card. I don't know where it happened. But even so, in no way was that a foul or even a, that's the point. It wasn't even a foul, let alone a booking. And Galatasaray are down to 10 men on the stroke of half time, and I have absolutely no idea why. Aguza almost made it 3-0 in the 63rd minute here, but it was still 2-0. And to be honest, after that red card, Galatasaray, they were pretty much done. They had a couple couple of good chances in the first half, but after that, it was all Racing Santander, and if it wasn't for my poor finishing, we could have been 3-4 or possibly even 5-0 up at this stage, but it was still 2-0. But in the 78th minute, even more controversy as Tunkara plays a through ball towards Perez, who seemed like he was onside because even though there was no Galatasaray defender covering, he was behind the halfway line when the ball was played forward, and of course you can't be offside in your own half. However, if you want to go back and watch that, if you can pause the video on the time when Tunkara, the ball hit Tunkara's foot as he played the ball through towards Perez, he had a foot over the halfway line, so Perez should have been ruled off for offside, but the assistant referee didn't give it. Play continued. Perez saw a Galatasaray defender catching up, so he held the ball up, step over around him, put the ball into the bottom corner, and again, that goal shouldn't have stood. He should have been ruled offside. So it's another decision which again should, it shouldn't have happened. Should have happened even. That decision right there should have been called offside, but it wasn't. And again, it's a decision which is really dodgy, but it goes in our favour. It's Galatasaray 0, Racing Santander 3. And yeah, sure, we were going on to win the game and everything, but it was crazy how every single thing was falling for us in this episode. As Concha goes forward here, though, we make it Galatasaray 0, Racing Santander 4, and there's no debate over this goal. This one's totally legitimate, but the Galatasaray goalkeeper, who had actually made quite a couple of good saves in this game, will not want to see this one again. He makes a good save and an David Concha from the first attempt, but the second attempt is a header from our long-serving midfielder, and I have no words to how on earth he let this ball go in. It just loops up in the air. He has so much time to react, but he just watches the ball sail over him and go in, don't go over the bar, it goes over his head into the back of the net, and the only thing I can think of is maybe the goalkeeper thought it was going to hit the bar or go over, that's why he didn't dive, but he just watched the ball sail over his head, drop in underneath the bar, and go into the back of the net. Terrible goalkeeping. Galatasaray 0, Racing Santander 4, and I said I wanted to do well on the opening day of the Champions League group. I know it's going to be a really difficult group for us, but to win the game by 4-0 and get a Galatasaray player sent off, and one of those goals shouldn't have stood in my opinion, I certainly did not see that one coming, but still, Galatasaray 0, Racing Santander 4 was the final score. Delighted with another win, but again, another game marred with controversy, and I think right now, someone behind the scenes at Racing Santander, maybe some of the board members, are paying the referees, because the decisions we're getting are absolutely terrible. But that does end the episode, guys, so as always, a big thank you for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Club and Country, then please do leave a like, as it's much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out, and I'll see you for the next episode of Club and Country very soon.